The work of a Vocations Director is a very varied job. It can mean just being present in the diocese, making available resources for information and for contact purposes. But very often the main work is making contact with individuals, asking them to consider the possibility of a vocation, to walk with them a little bit in their journey, to discuss where they might have got this idea from, what might have brought them to this understanding that God is calling them, and how they might progress forward. So a lot of one-to-one meetings, individual meetings. I myself run a little group meeting with the fellows that I'm working with, because I think it's important that others know that people know that you're on a journey with others. That's a very, very important thing. But certainly it's a very varied and wide task, and I think it's important. We also maybe connect with retreats and masses and organisational things that are happening within our own diocese and beyond. A couple of dioceses might work together, or a region might do something like a vocations weekend together. So there's plenty of activity anyway. I think the biggest challenges are amongst those of making contact with people, not physically in terms of actually making contact, but showing that vocation is the answer to those deeper questions of life. You know, people want to know, is what I do valuable? Is what I do important? Is what I do meaningful? And vocation is certainly one way of showing that. There are many priests and others who live lives of answering their call of vocation, and they can say every day that they're very satisfied by the work that they do, and that they feel that their work is providing something important in life. So I think in this current climate, what we're saying to people is the vocation will connect with those deeper things that you're searching for, which maybe the secular world doesn't provide. The recession is a terrible time for the people of Ireland and the whole world, and the Church certainly does not rejoice in a time of struggle or difficulty for anyone. I think it would be wrong to assume that a recession will bring people forward for the Church, because the decisions that we depend on in making a vocational response are not about economics. It's about, as I say, that sense of call, that sense of purpose, and it's a deeper thing. It's a spiritual thing. So certainly we wouldn't expect any difference to happen at this time. And as I say, the Church, not only not wanting people to go through this difficult time, the Church will be at the forefront of response. People in organisations like St Vincent de Paul here at home and Trócaire internationally will be making our church resources available to those who are struggling at this difficult time. But no, vocation comes from a deep-rooted call, a sense of God's invitation to you, and it's not something that will be dictated just because of a turn in economic situations. Well, I would like to think that we've become much more proactive, first of all. I think we're out there. I suppose maybe when, in the heyday of vocations, when people were coming forward in bigger numbers, there was a sense of maybe we don't have to go out there to get them, that they would find their way to the seminary or to the house of study on their own. But now we're out there, we're saying that God is calling people, but there are so many other opportunities for people, so we have to be in the marketplace as such. We have to have a profile, we have to use modern communications, and we've done things like jobs fairs, careers events, and so on. We've also done things like using technology. We all have websites now, we use email. Bebo and Facebook would be very involved in our promotional work. But just getting the message out there, making the contact numbers and details available, and just showing people that there is an opportunity, an option there for them to explore this idea of vocation. Well, I've been accused of being a very optimistic individual, and that is true. I am at the heart. But I think realistically speaking, there is a good omen for vocations at the moment. We had entered a phase of decline. There was low numbers, declining numbers. That has levelled out somewhat. And indeed, in the last couple of years, we've seen some kind of resurgence of interest. Not numerically large, but that corner has been turned. So we're coming forward now. And I would like to think that with the year of vocation that we've just celebrated and coming forward into the next couple of years leading up to our Eucharistic Congress in Ireland, I think there's a renewed confidence in the Church about vocation, and I think that there will be more numbers. So while we're not going to get back to the numbers of the 50s and 60s, that's unrealistic. We are going to have enough priests, religious brothers and sisters, I think, coming forward in the future that will help to maintain, along with the increased lay involvement, of course, in the new model of church that we have operating here in Ireland.